Hello. Hello, everybody. It's time. It is time to go. Let me turn down the music a little bit. Whew, I think I picked a kind of a sleepy song. That's not the kind of mood I'm in. I'm in a really let's go, let's get going. I'm so excited that you guys are here. You know, I want to say, first of all, before we start, I love teaching. I love being able to come in here in this group and to be able to educate you guys and to be able to share with you what I've learned over my many years of studying health and nutrition. And I just love being able to teach you guys. So those of you who have been participating in downloading the workbook and you've been just engaged with and sending me emails about how excited you are, awesome. I love to hear that because I put a lot of work into these series, right? And the reason why I don't do them more often, like the 4-class series, is because they take a lot of work. But more importantly, is I can't cover what I'm covering in just one class, right? So when I create these series, there's so much information and there's so much to teach that there's no way I could possibly do it like in a 1-hour session like I do usually on Wednesdays, right? So when I create these series, it's to really help you to kind of get more deep into the teaching. And that's why I create a workbook for you guys and all of that. So those of you who have raised your hand and wanted the workbook, awesome. You should have all received it. If you didn't receive it, it's because you sent me a bad email. So just try it again or whatever. But what you'll want to do is grab your workbook right now, and let's get started. And I know there's going to be a lot of you watching the replay, which is totally fine. Those of you who are live with me now, awesome. We'll be able to fill in the blanks to all of the answers live. But if you're watching the replay, not a big deal. You just can go through and fill it in. And then I think I decided I'm going to post the answers for you guys and send them to you in an email. I'll send you the answers so you have them, okay? But, we look at this lineup we have this week. I mean, today we're talking about kind of an introductory on why are your sugars high and some things you can do instantly to get them down, like instantly, okay? And some of you guys aren't doing this stuff, so we're going to go into that. Tomorrow we're talking more now about like how your body has to be able to heal on a internal cellular level in order for you to keep your blood sugars down for good, like forever and ever and ever and ever, right? So tomorrow we're talking a lot about insulin and some other things that are going to really help you to understand why you're having a hard time keeping your blood sugars down every single day. And then Wednesday is a big day. We're talking about hormones, so you all need to be there. Wednesday, we're doing a 4-hour broadcast because there's the hormones. I get out of all the questions I get from you guys is always about your hormones, and you might not even realize it's your hormones, but when you have questions like, why do I have fatigue, and why can't I get my blood sugars down, and why do I feel so crabby, and why do I have bloating, why do I have gas, and why am I achy all over, it's all due to hormones. So we're going to go and take a deep dive into that on Wednesday. And then Thursday, I have a couple things I'm going to have you do this week. And by Thursday, you should have your numbers. Your numbers should be lower. So we're going to talk all about that on Thursday as far as like how you guys have done and what are some of the things you've noticed as you've done some of the things I'm teaching this week. And then Friday, we're going to do a Q&A, which is basically anything you want to ask me about this week's work. Okay, so that's the itinerary. It's a lot we're going to cover this week. So if you have not received a workbook, I am only sending these out to people who want them. I don't want to barrage your email with things that you don't want. So if you want this workbook, all you got to do is go to academyworkbook.com. Okay, it's up in the banner. You can go look at the link up there. And then I will get an email saying that you want this, and within minutes, I'll send you your workbook. Now, I'm doing this broadcast now, so if you go ask for your workbook, you're not going to get this till I'm done with the broadcast, okay? So that is the deal there. So who do we got on here? Hi, Gail. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Ingrid. Hi, Pam. Hi, Julie. Yay, we got some people on. So what I want you guys to do is if you have your workbooks, go ahead and pull them out now, and let's just get going. Let's do it, okay? We got a lot to cover, and of course, I'm sure you guys will have lots of questions, and get your pen ready and we'll just go through and start. So I'm really excited. This is going to be a working week. Make sure that you try to tune in every day if you can. That way you'll get the answers, and I'm going to actually give you guys actions to do. So today's class, I'm going to actually give you some actions that you're going to take to test out to see if your blood sugars will actually start to lower just by doing some of the things I'm asking you to do. Okay, so yay, let's go, let's get started, let's do it. Okay, so that's what we're going to cover. I kind of went over that. We're going to cover that today. And for those of you who are brand new, I promise I will not spend 5 minutes on this. But if you're new to this group, which we have a lot of new people in this group, my name is Terry Dale. I am a functional diagnostic nutritionist, diabetes coach, and health practitioner. And I have 2 Amazon best-selling books. The first book, I Refuse Chemo, is in bookstores all around the country, and both of them are in Amazon, so you can check those out. And they are, the books I've written are based on all of my years of studying nutrition and helping clients, hundreds of clients, with their health, and specifically with weight loss and diabetes. Okay, I do have to say I am not a medical doctor. I do not claim to be one. I will never diagnose you in this group. However, once you get diagnosed, I work with your medical doctors. I work with the medical doctors, because doctors don't get any training in nutrition or don't get any training in balancing the body. That's our job. So as a health practitioner, I will work with your doctor, and I will be in charge of your this part of your program, right? So he will diagnose you, then all of that. So anything I'm teaching you in this group is just based on my experience, based on what I have done with myself and all of my clients. And you should always, always, always seek the advice of your medical doctor before you start anything, or before you do anything that I'm teaching you or suggesting that you do in this group. Okay, so I have to make that disclaimer. The other thing I say before every class, and I know you might hear this 100 times, but I'm going to say it at the beginning of every class, because it's so important that you guys get what I'm teaching, and that you understand where I'm coming from, and that you understand the reason why I'm so good at what I do, and I'm so good at getting my clients results. It's because I teach how to balance the body, and it's never just one thing. You guys are being told it's one thing. When you go to your doctors, and you get your blood labs done and your blood sugars are high, they're telling you right away, your blood sugars are high, you have diabetes. Okay. And it's caused by, they might tell you it's just caused by, they might say it's hereditary. They might say it's because you're eating the wrong things. They're always giving you usually one reason. And a lot of times they don't even know. They'll say, I don't know, I don't know why. Here's a drug. Okay. What I'm here to tell you is that when you have high blood sugars, it's a symptom. It's never just one thing that's causing your blood sugars to be high. And I'm going to show you that today. We're going to talk a lot about that today, just so you can get a really good understanding of, why your body is starting to break down. Having high blood sugars is a combination of a few things. So if you have inflammation in your body, if your hormones are off, if you have a lot of stress, if you're not very active, you're kind of sedentary, if you have a terrible, stressful mindset, that's going to play a role in this. If you are on medications, even though you're on medication, some of you, to lower the sugars, that's only a Band-Aid. And usually you're on other medications that are causing inflammation, which is always never going to get you on the other side of your disease if you're not eating right and if you're under nutrified. So we're going to talk about those today in somewhat, but again, this is why I say it's never just one thing, because all of this is the reason why your body is breaking down. If your body is breaking down, you will get a symptom. You guys, listen to me. It is not normal to have fatigue. It is not normal to have aches and pains. It is not normal to have high blood sugars. It is not normal to get migraines. It is not normal to have high blood pressure. It is not normal to have high cholesterol. All of that is symptoms. And it's symptoms of one of those 7 things being out of whack. It could be 1, 2, 3, usually it's all of them all at once. So when we are trying to figure out the symptom of high blood sugars, or the symptom of weight gain, or the symptom of not being able to lose weight, the symptom, we've got to figure out Why? Why are my blood sugars up? What is the imbalance? That is what you guys are not getting with anybody else, as far as I know, because all my clients that come to me, they're not getting that. What they're getting is their medical doctors or their diabetes educators saying, here, follow this, meal plan that's not based on what their body type is, but here's this, and then your doctors are saying, here's a medication. That's pretty much how it works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you on the other side of that. I'm going to help you to figure out which one of those, never just one thing, right? Which one of those categories in your body is imbalanced, and there's going to be more than one, and that requires a lot of research and digging and assessments, right? But what we're going to do today is I'm going to give you some of those tips on how you can identify, like, why do I have high blood pressure? Why do I have diabetes? Why is my weight high? So we're going to start digging into some of them. Now, obviously, we only have an hour and we only have 4 classes, and I wish I could give you all of the the reasons why I know what I know, but we can't, because again, all of your results and some of the things that you will be doing are going to be based on your specific unique situation. But I just wanted you guys to see that, if you're going to a medical doctor or you're getting advice saying that your blood sugars are high because you have type 2 diabetes and you need to be on medication, you're getting the wrong long-term advice, okay? So let's pull up our workbook, okay? We're going to talk first about what do you do when you go to your doctor for high blood sugars? They're gonna be able to diagnose you by doing what's called an A1c test. And an A1c, called hemoglobin A1c, is a blood test that gives you a 3-month average of your blood sugars. And this tells you how your body is managing sugar. Now listen to me on this. Listen to me. Your A1c is a 3-month average of what your sugars are doing. So if you go to your doctor, okay, and you get an A1c, that's how they diagnose you with prediabetes, type 2, type 1, whatever. That's how they diagnose you. However, that's just telling you what your 3-month blood sugar average is. That blood sugar A1c is not telling you how you got your diabetes, why your blood sugars are high. It's not telling you that. It's just telling you what your blood sugars have been over the past 3 months. Now, when you guys, those of you who are testing your blood sugar daily, if you're pricking your finger, right, you're reading your immediate glucose levels. Okay, that's not an A1c. When you test your blood sugars that minute, that is what your blood sugar is doing at that moment. So that's the difference between A1c and glucose, daily glucose readings, okay? Again, neither of those tests, like the A1c is not going to tell you why your A1c is high. It's just to give you a diagnosis, okay? What I want to do is help you figure out why your A1c is high and how do we get that down. Because keep pricking your finger, reading your blood sugars, that's not going to get your A1c down. If you just keep testing it, that's not going to do anything. It's just giving you data. So we have to figure out the why, and that's what I'm really good at. That's like my superpower. So so that's the difference between what a A1c test is and what a glucose reading is, okay? So here is something I really want you guys to understand. This is so important for you guys to get. I'm a very visual person, and I think when I taught this visually, when I showed this visually, it really helped a lot of my clients understand exactly what sugar in the body is doing and what it does. We have 5 liters of blood in our body, okay? And in our body, we're only supposed to have 1 teaspoon of sugar circulating in our blood. So when you go get your A1c done, right, they're testing how much sugar is in your blood. And you're only supposed to have 1 teaspoon circulating in your blood at any given time. So if you have only 1 teaspoon of sugar, right, that would be 80 milligrams per deciliter, or 4.4 millimoles. So if you prick your finger and your blood sugar is 80 or 90 or 100, you're going to have about 1 teaspoon, 1 1/8 teaspoon, whatever, of sugar in your blood, which is normal. Your body's going to try to maintain that. Okay? It's very good at wanting to maintain that. However, when you have too much sugar in the blood, More than 1 teaspoon. In fact, look at this, you guys. Just 1/4 teaspoon more will give you a diabetes diagnosis. So 1 teaspoon more in your blood, that would be 126 mg DL or 7.0 millimoles per liter. So if your A1c is 6.7, you have an average, right? You have an average of a lot of sugar in your blood over that period of time. Okay, so I want you guys to understand that our bodies only require 1 teaspoon in there. So you've got to understand, how do you only keep 1 teaspoon in there? How do you allow your body to work properly? Because you were born with your pancreas and your body being able to manage blood sugar correctly. You were born, your body was working fine. What happens is, over the years, due to your body becoming unbalanced, your body is unable to manage blood sugar. And that is what diabetes is. Diabetes is really the inability for your body to manage sugar. Now listen to me real quick. If you're a type 1, okay, type 1, that is usually hereditary. Like you're born with type 1, or you develop it early in your life. Your pancreas, it isn't working. Type 1 is a different scenario. But if you're not type 1 and you were diagnosed with type 2 or pre diabetes or insulin resistance at a later in life, that's not hereditary. That is your body having a lot of years of imbalance and things going wrong, creating your body breaking down. Okay, so just so you guys know that. So our bodies are designed to only have 1 teaspoon of sugar in it, which is 4 grams, by the way. So if you look at labels, if you're reading labels and you read something that says 8 grams of sugar in it, that's going to be 2 teaspoons of sugar. And remember, our body only needs 1. Our body's going to do whatever it takes to only keep it at 1. It tries to keep it at 1. So when we're putting a lot of sugar in our body, and our body keeps elevating that sugar because you're putting so much in, our body naturally knows, because it's so smart, it naturally knows what it needs to do to take that sugar, push it into the cells, and keep our bodies at 80. That's how you know your body's working well. When your body's not working well is when your sugars stay high. And we'll talk more about that when we talk tomorrow about insulin. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of a visual of understanding, really how much your body needs. So take a look at this. So I know you're being told by your diabetes educators you should have a lot of yogurt because it's really good for you. It has lots of probiotics in it. And some of you, it makes your tummy feel better. I get all that. And I know your diabetes educators are telling you to eat this because I've seen their meal plans. And I just want to give you the facts about what's happening when you eat yogurt. Okay, this particular brand of yogurt has 33 grams of sugar. So remember, I told you that 1 gram is 1 cube of sugar, right? And our body is only designed to have 1 cube. So this particular 1 cup of this yogurt has 8.25 cubes of sugar in it. You guys, 8.2 cubes of sugar just in 1 cup. So when you eat 1 cup of this, your body is being barraged with 33 grams of sugar. So, I mean, think about it, right? If you have diabetes or pre-diabetes, diabetes, insulin resistance, and you're putting that much sugar in, and your body doesn't know how to manage it because it's imbalanced, your blood sugars are absolutely going to stay high, and then your body's going to freak out because it's not going to know what to do with it, and it's going to keep breaking down because it's not working right. Okay. So I just wanted you guys to see that, because a lot of people don't know that you only need 1 teaspoon of sugar in your body at one given time. You're not being told that, but that is the facts. Okay. So on your sheet here, the next question is, our bodies are designed to only have 1 teaspoon or 4 grams of sugar in your entire bloodstream, and that is equivalent to 80 milligrams per deciliter, and mgdl stands for milligrams per deciliter, or you can put in there 4.4 millimoles. Those of you who are from Canada, like Gail. I think Gail's from Canada, aren't you, Gail? I think, Gail, you're from Canada, aren't you? So yeah, so you can fill that in there. Okay, so where should your blood sugars be? Let's do that real quick. Next question. So your blood levels should be, this is where they should be, okay? Normal blood sugar levels, I'm going right off of your sheet here. Normal blood sugar levels should be, so when you wake up in the morning and you prick your finger, or you prick your finger throughout the day, a couple hours after you eat, before you go to bed, they should be anywhere between 70 and 100. That tells me that your body is able to manage the sugar in your body well, okay? Which would be basically 3.8 to 5.5 millimoles per liter. Okay, so if you're pricking your finger and it's averaging between 70 and 100, you're good to go. That's awesome, okay? Now, it could be lower than 70 if you're into ketosis. That's a whole nother class. And those of you who have diabetes, you're not going to be in ketosis, okay? So when you're fasting, again, like if you take a blood fasted level, that will usually be between 70 and 80 milligrams per deciliter, or 3.8 to 4.5 or so millimoles per liter, okay? So your AM fasting, so let's say that those of you who have prediabetes, and let's say your blood sugars are higher. Let's say you wake up and you take your finger test and your readings are over 100. They might be 120, 130, 140. I've seen some of you guys have them in over the 200s, right? That is, and you haven't eaten anything, that if your fasting blood sugars readings, glucose readings in the morning is over 100, you have what's called the Dawn phenomenon. And we're going to talk about that today too, okay? So that would be anything over 100, 120 mgdl, or 5.5, 5.6 millimoles per liter, okay? So if you have those high levels in the morning, you have the Dawn phenomenon. And what that basically means is that your body is not able to lower those sugars in the morning. And we're going to talk about the Dawn phenomenon today too. Okay, so 1 hour after a meal, when you eat, normal blood sugars 1 hour after will be less than 126. So if you eat something and your blood sugar an hour after you eat are at 120, 126, it's normal, nothing to worry about, okay? However, if 2 hours after a meal they're over 110, then that's another indication that your body's not working right. So 2 hours after a meal, they should be under 110, or 6.1 millimoles per liter. And then after 2 or 3, 4 hours after that, or before bedtime, they should be back to that 90, 110. Okay, so we just went through all of that in your workbook. So write those down so that way, as you're going through this week and I'm having you test your blood sugars, you'll be able to see, like, okay, my blood sugar should be, 1 hour after meal, they should be under 126 or under 126. So if they're over 126, depending how much they're over, then we probably know that there's some issues there. 2 hours after you eat, if they're still elevated over 110, then we know your body's not doing a very good job on lowering that blood sugar, getting that blood sugar back down to 1 teaspoon in the blood, right? Because our body's going to automatically want to keep our bodies at one teaspoon of sugar. Okay? Does that make sense, you guys, so far? Yeah? So I will let you guys go ahead and fill that in. So what causes high blood sugars? Okay, here's the 4 main things that cause high blood sugars. Are you ready? First one, eating too much sugar and carbs. And you guys know this. You guys understand this one pretty well. However, what you might not know is that carbs are also sugar. And also protein converts into your body as sugar. Protein can break down as sugar, too much protein, okay? So the only thing that doesn't break down as carbs or sugar in your body is fats, certain types of fats, okay? So eating too much sugar, so Dannon yogurt, a full sugar pop, candy sweets, cookies, donuts, all that, or carbs, even like carbs that are higher sugar, like fruit and corn and, crackers and oatmeal and wheat and bread, all of that. That is going to really play a role in keeping your blood sugars at that 1 teaspoon. I'm going to keep referring to the 1 teaspoon, 4 grams, right? So if you eat too much of this and you have diabetes and your body can't lower that sugar because all your cells are broken, they're never going to come down. Number two, if you have insulin resistance, your cells are full. So when you have, we're going to talk more about this tomorrow, but I just want to give you a really little education here. Insulin resistance is a part of having type 2 diabetes and prediabetes. However, you can have insulin resistance and not be diabetic. Your A1c could be 5.35. You could not have a diagnosis of diabetes. You could still be insulin resistant. Okay? This is why there's so many women that think just because they don't have a diagnosis of diabetes that they're okay. If you're overweight or having a difficult time losing weight, and you have not been diagnosed with with diabetes, you have insulin resistance. And if you don't take care of the insulin resistance, meaning if you don't find the underlying problem and heal the cells, it will develop into prediabetes, then the type 2, and it'll progress. Okay? So I have a lot of women that join my academy, come to me as clients, that are not diabetic, but they have insulin resistance and they don't even know it because of reasons why doctors don't do the right labs to figure that out. Okay, so now on the other side of that, and we're going to talk about this tomorrow, insulin resistance more, but I just wanted to give you a little precursor of what we're going to be breaking down tomorrow. But if you're type 2 diabetic, you are insulin resistant. You can be both, right? You can be type 2 and insulin resistant, but you can also be, it's very rare, but you can be pre-diabetic and not insulin resistant. So this is why it's so confusing, and this is why your doctors will never explain it to you like this, because they just base all of their diagnosis on one blood lab. They just want to get you on medication. Okay, I mean, it's just the truth, you guys. Okay, this is why you guys are getting worse. This is why you're not getting the results that you need, is because you're not getting the right advice. You're not getting the right help. I am not knocking medical doctors, because we need medical doctors, and I love medical doctors. It's just they don't understand nutrition. They're not, that's not their area of expertise. Okay, it's just not. I have doctors and physician assistants and RNs that work with me privately that I coach to help them learn this stuff, because in 8 years of med school, medical doctors get 1 day of nutrition, and it's not about this. It's not about this. It's based on the food pyramid, which is a whole nother topic I won't get into. Okay. So again, I love, in fact, all my clients that I work with, we work with their medical doctors, and their medical doctors are, most of them are like super supportive of my clients having somebody like me to help work with them so that they can get the best results for their clients, because the medical doctors, their area of expertise is not diabetes, because diabetes is a nutritional disease. Weight loss, metabolic disease, if you have a difficult time losing weight, that's not your medical doctor's area of expertise. Okay, I'm going to introduce you to somebody later who went to their doctor, who was not diabetic, went to her doctor to figure out why she was not able to lose weight. And he said he had no idea, and she was considering weight loss surgery. And his advice to her was, I want to put you on a fat burner medication. Okay, so again, just again, we have to figure out what is going on underneath your symptom of diabetes, underneath the symptom of high blood sugar, underneath the symptom of weight gain, underneath the symptom of not being able to lose weight. And that is what I will help you do. But it's very complex if you're not getting the right help, okay? So tomorrow, we're going to be talking a lot about insulin resistance. Hope that makes sense. You guys with me still? You guys hanging with me? Are you okay so far? The third one is inflammation. Inflammation, I've done a lot of classes in this group on inflammation. And so you need to go watch those videos, because all of you here have inflammation. We all do to some degree. Okay. I keep my inflammation very low, and I test myself to make sure I keep my inflammation low. Now I'm so in tune with when my inflammatory markers are high, and I feel off when they're high. So I'm very in tune with knowing when my body feels inflamed. But we're all going to have inflammation because we're exposed to toxins in the world. And if you have diabetes, you 100% have a lot of inflammation. So that is going to cause your blood sugars to raise. When you have inflammation in your body, and inflammation is a very broad, very it's like an umbrella, and there's like a cajillion things underneath the umbrella of inflammation. And so again, what I do is I figure out what is causing the inflammation, what areas are causing the inflammation that are under this umbrella of inflammation, and we address those specifically. Okay, so inflammation always is going to keep your blood sugars high. So some of you, here's where some of you are at too. Some of you are like, my blood sugars are super high. I'm eating right. I'm fasting. I'm doing what I think is good, but your blood sugars are still high. It's because your inflammation is still so high that your cells are not, your body's not working, because they're not being repaired. And you will stay stuck there for a long time unless you figure out and have somebody help you figure out how to decrease that inflammation. And it's not just one way. There's many ways you can decrease your inflammation, but you have to know what to do, right? So inflammation is number 3. And then the last one is stress. And stress is kind of under the umbrella of inflammation, because if you have stress, that's going to increase your inflammation. But when you guys have stress, oh my word, that is going to be really hard on your body, and your blood sugars are absolutely going to raise. Okay? If you're stressed out, your blood sugars are going to be high. If you're stressed out, your blood sugars are going to be high. Let me say it again. If you're stressed out, your blood sugars are going to stay high. And stress is not just emotional stress, like I've had a bad day. There's also something called internal stress. That's what's going on inside the body. So if you have infections, if you have yeast infections, if you have parasites, if you have diabetes, your blood sugars are high, that is stress. Okay, and when you're stressed, it's just your blood sugars are going to be high because your body is trying to produce the healing hormones to fix your body, and it can't. So it causes more inflammation. Okay, this is why you've got to just, you've got to find somebody that can help you put perspective on this and get you going on some de-inflammatory methods. Okay, so stress doesn't just mean mental stress. That is a stress. That's a part of it that will keep your blood sugars high, but it's also internal stress. And if you have diabetes, your blood sugars are high, you're overweight. If you're overweight, you have inflammation, you guys. Being overweight, I'm sorry, and I don't want to sound mean, like a meanie, but our bodies are not designed to be overweight. Okay, you might say, oh, well, but I feel fine. You might feel physically fine, but it's your body, when you're overweight, it's hard on your body. And eventually that weight will create more imbalance in the body. Okay, so, and I know some of you don't want to be overweight, and you're just frustrated because you're like, why can't I get this weight off? Well, this is why. Because you have these things, one of these things are going on. Could be a combination of all 4. Okay, so we have to get to the underlying root cause of all this. Okay, so having high blood sugars is a symptom. It's a symptom. It's a symptom of your body breaking down, and it's a symptom of your body not being able to manage blood sugar correctly. That's it. So once we can figure out, what's causing your blood sugars to be high and get you on a strategy and a protocol to fix the cells, we're going to be good to go. Okay, here was what high blood sugar is not. You ready? High blood sugar is not caused by lack of metformin. High blood sugar is not caused by lack of Januvia, lack of Trulicity, lack of insulin, unless you're type 1. That's different, okay? A symptom, having high blood sugar is a symptom. It's not because you lack medications, but you're going to be put on medications to try to put a Band-Aid over the symptom. Okay? Let me give you an analogy really quick. When you're driving your car and go down to look at your steering wheel and you see your red engine light on, what do you do as the owner of the vehicle? You look at that red light and you go, oh crap, I better get this into the shop immediately. So what do? You make an appointment, you go into the shop, the mechanic turns on your car, sees the red light, and he does an investigation of what's causing the red light to be on. That's the process, right? When you have your red engine light on. And then hopefully the mechanic will figure out what the reason was why the red engine light went on, and he'll fix it. Okay? Similar with you guys. When the red engine light comes on in your body, or your body's the car, your symptom is blood sugar. So what do? You go to the doctor because you have high blood sugar. The doctor takes your labs and he sees the red engine line, but he's not the mechanic. He doesn't do the underlying root problem. What he does is he puts a Band-Aid over the red light. That Band-Aid over the red light is drugs. Okay? So he's putting a Band-Aid over your red light engine. He's putting a Band-Aid, which is the drugs, to temporarily start to lower those sugars, but they're not going to fix why the red engine light came on. It's not going to fix why your blood sugars are high. The medication is short-term going to try to cram and push the sugar somewhere else in the body where it shouldn't be, so it doesn't show up in your blood. That is also causing inflammation because your body's not managing sugar how it should be managed. Okay, so I want you to think of that analogy with anything in your life. If you have aches and pains and you have fibromyalgia, you have headaches, you have fatigue, you got high blood pressure, the red engine light, the symptom, high blood pressure. What's causing it? Go to a doctor. He's going to put you on high blood pressure medication. That's a Band-Aid. It's not fixing the underlying problem. Why do you have high blood pressure? Why did you have 20 years of your life, your blood pressure was fine, then all of a sudden when you turn 35, 40, 50, now your blood pressure is high? Why? It's not because you're aging. It's because your body is breaking down. It's becoming imbalanced. Your body is breaking down, and that is what we have to figure out. We have to figure out what's breaking down in your body. Is it a nutritional deficiency? Is it your blood sugars are high? Is it inflammation? Is it your diet? Is it your stress? Is it, side effect of something else? Is it, what's the why? Why? That's what I do. I'm the why girl. I figure out the why for you. I help you figure out the why. Your doctor is the Band-Aid. He'll put the Band-Aid on for this scenario. Not if you, listen, okay. I digress. Hold on. I love medical doctors. I don't want you to think that I'm knocking medical doctors. I'm knocking them for their ability to help you with nutrition, 100%. But medical doctors are amazing. If I ever get in a car accident, or if I ever have symptoms of like having a heart attack or an aneurysm, thank God I can go to an emergency room or a doctor and they can diagnose and help me. We have the best surgical apparatuses and medical help in the country. The U.S. has the best form. Medical doctors are amazing at that's their wheelhouse. But their wheelhouse is not diabetes and nutrition. It's not, because diabetes is a nutritional disease, you guys. Okay? It's like, would I go to a dentist to have foot surgery? I mean, that's kind of funny, right? You look at me like, oh, duh. So if I have a toothache, I wouldn't go to my foot doctor, my orthopedic, right? And I wouldn't say, can I need, or I wouldn't go to my dentist if I had a toothache. I wouldn't go to my dentist and say, hey, I have a footache. Can you do surgery on my foot? Or I wouldn't go to my foot doctor and say, hey, Dr. Thompson, you're my foot doctor. Can you fix my tooth? It's the wrong dog for the hunt. It's the same with a medical doctor. You go to a medical doctor for nutritional advice, he's going to not know what to do. He's going to put you on a drug. Okay? So, my clients and their physicians, they're getting educated by you, by the patient, and also by me, their practitioner, that the doctors are starting to realize, hey, there's somebody better at this than me. Awesome. And then we work as a team. It's a beautiful thing. But we've got to educate your doctor, because he's never going to be able to help you with figuring out the underlying problem. It's just not their area of expertise, this area, okay? Okay, just had to do a side note. I had to digress and talk about that a little bit, because that's super important, because I have a lot of really amazing friends that are medical doctors. I have a lot of clients. I have amazing medical doctors, but I also have some that are just not willing to be open to helping their clients in this way. Okay? All right, so let's pull back out your workbooks. We're going to finish here. We have a few minutes left. We're going to finish here with a couple other things, then we'll be done for today. So the dawn phenomenon is when you wake up in the morning and your blood sugars are high, okay? I am going to explain this really quickly, but in this group, there is a video. If you go in this group and do a search and type in dawn phenomenon, I did a whole video just on this. But if you have the dawn phenomenon, again, it is a symptom. If your blood sugars are high in the morning, it's because your body does not know how to push the sugars into the cell to keep your sugars at 80 milligrams or 4.4 millimoles. What happens is all of us in the middle of the night, our normal circadian rhythm, our blood sugars are going to raise in the night. All of us have this. I have this. So at night, my blood sugars raise because what the body is doing is releasing epinephrine, cortisol, HGH, and glucagon, which are produced by the adrenals and the pancreas, is producing these hormones so that we can get up in the morning. Otherwise, if we didn't produce these hormones, we'd be staying in bed and we'd be like dead. We wouldn't be able to move because this is providing us with energy to get through our day. So for me, I wake up in the morning and my blood sugars were high in the night because of the dawn phenomenon, but then my body was able to lower my blood sugars back into the cell and keep them low like it should. What's happening with you guys who have the dawn phenomenon and your blood sugars stay high is that your body, when your hormones release the sugars at night, right? The hormones do, right? Release the sugar. It's called the liver dump because your liver releases the sugar to help get you up in the morning. What's happening is there's no place for the sugar to go because your cells are broken. Right? It's broken. So your blood sugars stay high. This is why so many people get confused because they're like, I didn't eat supper last night. I haven't had any food. And they wake up and their blood sugars are still high. Well, it's a combination of two things. One, the dawn phenomenon, which is, everybody has a dawn phenomenon. It's just a matter of if your body knows what to do with the high blood sugars in the morning. And when you have type 2 diabetes and your blood sugars are high in the morning, that's what the dawn phenomenon is. It's your body's not able to push the sugars into the cell. Okay. So when you have insulin resistance, which we're going to talk about tomorrow, that's how you know you have insulin resistance, is because of the dawn phenomenon. So if you've been diagnosed with the dawn phenomenon, it just means that you have insulin resistance. Okay. And it takes a little bit to fix, but it's not going to get fixed by taking more medication. That's not how you fix the dawn phenomenon. The dawn phenomenon only can be fixed when you understand the why. What is the underlying root cause? Why is my body not able to work right? Why isn't it able to lower my blood sugars? Medication is not the answer long term. It might be short term. Like sometimes short term, it's actually good because having really bad high blood sugars for a long period of time is so bad for the body. So sometimes the medications temporarily will work, but long term, if you've been on drugs more than a few months, it's not good. Not good at all. Okay. All right. So what I want to do is I want to introduce you guys to somebody real quick. I'm going to bring her on. And I want you to meet Debbie. And Deb Stotts, if you're watching, you have to sign on to the link. Maybe you can reach out, Deb Stotts, to Ingrid, and she can give you the link. You have to get onto the link. Debbie, Thomas, you need to turn on your video. Can you turn on your video for me, sweetheart?
Oh my gosh, where's it at?
I don't
know. I see you.
Yeah, that's okay. Just turn on your video.
All it says is mute for me. It doesn't have the two tabs. Should I go out and start again?
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
Audio setting, maybe. No,
it'd be under your video. Just ask to here. Let's do that and see if that works. It might be my end. Does that work now?
There it is.
There we go.
Come on, unclick. It doesn't want to unclick.
You getting it?
Yeah, I will. Just a second. I think there's a reason why. Yeah, there we go.
There. So yeah, that was kind of on my end. Here's what they do with Zoom, right? They switch they make you do these automatic downloads, and they switch the settings on me all the time. So I don't even stress anymore when this happens, because it's just
Mhm.
typical, because it's just like, every time I do these things, it's different. It's like,
Yeah.
whatever. But anyway, welcome. Have you been listening?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And even though, you know me really well and you've been a client of mine for a long time, did you learn something today?
Yes, I did.
Right? Don't
I,
we always learn?
I wrote it all down.
Right. So I wanted to bring you on because when you started, learning about this stuff with me a couple years ago, you were in this group, and you suffered with the inability to lose weight and high blood sugars when you
Hmm.
started, right? And so just tell the girls kind of what you've learned and how you've been able to get your blood sugars now down to normal, and you have lost weight too. We've got to talk about that, of course. So talk to the
I don't,
girls about what you've learned and how important that has been for you.
oh, I've learned how to eat, what to eat and what not to eat.
Yeah.
That's really a really big thing. And then look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Down the weight, down the inches. It's been fun. And just the 12 bad foods, I always say that, and
Yeah.
ACV. We just have so many different little tricks that we do.
Yeah.
Not really tricks, just they're remedies, and
Well,
they work
when you
so
started too, weren't you frustrated because I remember you telling me that you never understood the why. That's
well. Mm-mm,
huge, because
it is.
you'll have these symptoms of not being able to lose weight, not knowing why your sugars are high, not knowing what to eat, and you don't get that information from your medical doctors, right? So
No,
talk
it,
about how important it was for you to really learn about your own body and your situation, and how we were able to just come on the other side of that for you. Knowledge is power, right?
yes, I had gone to a heart doctor. I don't know if I've even told you this story, Terry, but I'd gone to a heart doctor and he put me on the treadmill and was testing everything on me. And he said, if you can't get your blood sugars down and your weight, we're going to put you on medicine. I said, can
Oh
I go home?
my
And
word.
then I found you, and I've not been on medicine.
How
It's just,
come I have never heard that story before?
I just came to my mind. You know me. And this, you're the reason why. I was talking to Debbie Stotts, and I said, I told her about it. She goes, Debbie, look up Terry. And I did, and I've never been on medicine. I've never had to. It's really, it's nice because and I even told him, I said, I really like to do the homeopathic way, or what do we call this way? The
The
natural way.
naturopathic way. Yeah. Yeah.
And he said, you know what? And I told him it was, a little bit, I was investing. It was a little bit of price. And he said, you know what? You're investing in your health, and there's nothing wrong with that. You invest as much as you need. And you guys, I'm the cheerleader. It really works.
Wow. Yeah. Think about that, Debbie. Think
I
about
know.
if you would not have invested in yourself a year ago, you would have been on heart medication.
I would have been taking pills. I would insulin probably, and who knows?
Yeah.
I've
And it's
kept off of
so
it.
amazing, like you have done such an amazing job with continuing your journey of learning, and really your inflammation is down, like I mean, it's amazing. When you first started, we did your labs and you had a lot of inflammation, and you weren't
Yes.
feeling good either. I remember you
Oh,
were.
my stomach was a problem. We've talked about that, and now it's no more. It's
Isn't that
really nice.
crazy?
As long as I stay away from dairy, and I don't know if it's what is it called?
Gluten.
Glucose? Gluten, yeah. And just, you know, what we learned, you guys will learn so much.
Yeah. Well, you look beautiful, by the way,
Oh,
and
thanks.
it's so funny because I like to do this with all you girls in the academy, but I always like to show pictures of when they first started. I do this. I don't do this publicly unless I get permission, but when they first started versus where they are now, and there's always a change because we're decreasing the inflammation. We're coming up with the solution on why their body is imbalanced. So not only do they physically change, I mean, look at you, you lost 16 pounds, 23 inches, your
It's a
A1c is down,
freedom.
right? And you just feel
Yeah.
different. And so you not only look physically different, but you show up and your energy is different because you're feeling healthy. You can't put a price on that.
No, you can't. You really can't. And that's like what that doctor said. You're investing in your health, and doesn't matter what it costs.
Yeah. Awesome,
So,
Debbie. Well, thank you for sharing
yeah.
your story. Amazing as always. I'm going
Mhm.
to put you back to panelists so you can continue watching, and I'm going to
Okay.
teach the girls next on what they can do to start lowering these sugars. So thank you, honey. Awesome. Woohoo. Yeah. So ladies, that's what I'm saying, right? It's like when you go to your medical doctor because you're just like, oh, I just need some help, please help me, right? They're just kind of like, I don't know what to do, so let's put you on medication, see if that works. That's their remedy, right? So our remedy is not that. All right, so here's what I want you guys to do. Take out your pen and paper. Again, here are the 3 things I want you guys to start doing today. You'll have a full day tomorrow because, it's obviously it's 1 o'clock here, 2 o'clock your time, whatever time it is, and you've already gotten through half the day. But I want you to start these 3 things. You can pick one or all 3, doesn't matter. But start doing these things tomorrow and Wednesday. And then come Thursday, you tell me if your sugars have just started to drop a little bit. Okay, so here we go. I want you to eliminate all sugar for 3 days. So just eliminate, starting now. Eliminate sugar. Like I'm talking like I'm not saying carbs. I'm saying like bad sugar carbs. I'm not talking vegetables. I'm not talking all that. I'm talking like, sugar, candy, cake, yogurt, uh, fruit juices, anything that has a lot of sugar in it. Just eliminate it. Replace it with something else. Okay, that's number 1. So do that. Then I want you to not snack. I want you to have whatever meals you're having. Let's say it's 3 or 4 meals per day. Just pick 3 to 4 times a day that you're going to eat, and that's it. Don't be mindlessly putting stuff in your mouth. I would start with 3 to 4 and just do not snack. Just pick the time you're going to eat. Give yourself 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Once you're done with that meal, you're done until the next time. Only physically put something in your mouth 3 to 4 times a day. Every time you put something in your mouth, it is going to be called a meal. What's happening for a lot of you guys, this is what's happening. What's happening is you're just nibbling all day long. You're grazing. That's what your diabetes educators are telling you to do, is graze. So you'll have a bite here, a bite here, a bite here. Now listen, I have to say this. If you are on insulin, okay, this will be a little trickier because what's happening with you guys on insulin is you're managing your food around your drugs. What I'm trying to do is manage your drugs around your food. Okay, but so this will be a little trickier for you, but I would still, if you're on insulin, try to just not eat. You put something in your mouth physically only 3 or 4 times a day. That's it. So in the morning, if you have a bite of something, that's 1 time. That's 1. And then like a couple hours later, you say, oh, it's just a bite. That won't be counted as a meal. Nope. That would be 2. 4 times a day. That's it. Okay. Here's what's going to happen. By doing that, you'll see. Okay. So that's number 2. And again, if you want to pick one of these and not all of them, that's fine. But try 1 or more. Your last meal of the day, I want it to be no later than 7 p.m. And then your first meal of the day, try to push it up. So if you're used to eating at 7, try to push it up to 8 or 9. Just try to push up your meal in the morning a little bit longer so that overnight, you're just kind of fasting a little bit longer. Okay, again, you can play around with this, but I want you to think about just trying last meal of the day, 7, first meal, 11. And then the last one, I want you to try to take a walk or do something physical after your last meal. If that's impossible, then sit in your chair and do some leg lifts, or sit in your chair and do some punches. Okay. Or if you have a bike at home, or if you have a treadmill at home, if you can't go outside, whatever, do something physical if you can. If you physically can't, that's okay. But if you can, do something physical. Okay. So I want you to do these 4 things. I want you to write these down, and I want you either to do all 4 or pick 1 to try, or maybe you do one of these tomorrow, then the next day you pick another one. Just try doing these, because I promise you, if you do this in some capacity, by Thursday when I check in with you guys and we talk about your blood sugars coming down, they will have gone down. Okay? They will. They will have come down. Pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. So before we close, we are going to meet one more person, and she she is going to share with you how she reversed her diabetes. Yes. The reason I'm bringing Debbie on is because a lot of you guys here, you're thinking, I can't reverse my diabetes. I can't get my sugars down without medication. My doctor said I can't. My doctor said I could not reverse my diabetes and I could never get my blood sugars down if I didn't use medication. Okay, well, I'm here to tell you, Debbie is going to show you, and she's going to vouch that this is absolutely not the case. Hi, Debbie. Go ahead and unmute. There we go. Hello,
Hi.
darling.
Hi.
You look so beautiful.
Oh, thanks. Before we start, I want to give a shout out and a thank you to Debbie Thomas because I could not get on. She had to send me something personal. So
Awesome.
this is why I'm here. So thank you, Debbie.
I know we're a team. So
Yeah, we
Debbie,
are.
have you been watching some of the broadcasts today?
You know what? I wished I had. I
Yeah,
watched
that's
just
right.
a
You were
tiny
busy.
bit.
That's okay.
Smog check.
We're talking about, how, when you have high blood sugars is a symptom. So I'm teaching the girls today that when your blood sugars are high, it's a symptom, and how when you go to your medical doctors, they just don't give you the right advice because they just, they know how to do medication, how to push medication. But I want you to talk about how when you 2 years ago, year and a half ago, when your blood sugars were really high and you had diabetes, what in your mind freaked you out about having that? Why did you decide to do something about it?
Well, my wake up call was I got really sick. It's, today we have the COVID. Well, back then it was flu like it is today, but I had something else going on plus my sugars, and it about did me in. That was my wake up call. And I was overweight, and my blood sugars in the morning were going 140, 150 or higher. And somehow, I swear to you, I wish I could go back in time and say how I found you, but you've been the best. It makes me want to cry. The best blessing ever. I've kept my weight off for almost 2 years. My blood sugars are normal.
Yeah, look at this. Debbie,
Yes.
when you started, your A1c was 6.7. You had type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, I did.
And
I was going to say, I'm sorry. They always want to scoop you into the metabolic. There's no hope. You got to go on this, go on the blood pressure, go on the cholesterol, go on the blood sugar. And then it begins the spiral. I saw that spiral with my parents. And I didn't want to go through that because they did all the pills. They did everything the doctors told them. And guess what? They died, and they died relatively young. And they were miserable.
Yeah.
But they popped those pills.
Yeah. Well, and the reason why I wanted to show that graphic is to show, the girls who are being told that they can't reverse their diabetes and
Yes.
keep it reversed, is it's not true, because you've reversed your diabetes over a year ago, and you've kept your weight off. You have adapted and learned everything that you've learned. You've maintained your weight. We fixed the underlying root problem on a cellular level.
Yes.
And when you do that, that's when you reverse your diabetes. You can't reverse your diabetes with medication. And
no,
so
not at all.
So this is what's so important for these ladies to hear, is that when you fix the underlying problem, which you can do, you can reverse your diabetes and get your A1c down and the weight loss, and it will stay off forever. You've kept it off for a year.
Yeah. And I was over 60 when I found you. And based on that, you just have it mentally thinking you can't lose weight. But once you realize why the weight's there, because of the inflammation, and you take care of that first, which brings down the blood sugars or whatever other problems you have with your stomach or whatever else, once you take care of that without even trying, my weight came off. And I feel better. I'm going to be 66 this Thursday. I have grandkids I'm chasing after, homeschooling, and you name it. As you know, I've been really busy. So I guess God prepared me for this time through you to be able to do all this. But no, I feel good. I feel good.
66 years old, and at 65 and a half is when you reversed your diabetes. Can you imagine? I mean, Debbie, think about this. Can you imagine if you would not have done this work, where you'd be today?
Oh yeah, I'd probably be in the hospital with everybody else that was getting sick because yeah, no,
Well,
I
you would be
experienced it.
50 pounds heavier. Your A1c would not be down. Your blood sugars
No,
would not be down because,
no.
you know, it's like you took the steps. We figured out the underlying root problem, and look at you today. And you don't look like you're in your 60s. I mean, heaven
Oh,
forbid.
well,
Wow.
even I have vision issues, and even those are they're holding. They're
Yeah.
not getting worse, and
Yeah.
that's phenomenal. You know,
Yeah.
and even the doctor, they'll look and they'll go, "Wow, yeah, it looks good." And then I do a lot of some of the vitamin stuff too that was recommended, and I'm telling you, the best thing ever. I feel
Well,
good inside, outside.
the reason why you had eye degeneration was due to your diabetes. And so when you reverse your diabetes and you can stabilize that, it's not going to get worse. The damage that was done when you had diabetes is not
You're
going to get worse. And
well,
so amazing. In fact,
well,
it
and
has actually gotten
the
better.
thing with the doctors, well, what bothers me is they kind of cubbyhole you into almost like a coffin, and they just say there's no hope. It's genetic. Your parents had heart disease. Your parents had diabetes. Your parents had this. So therefore, this is what you're going to have. And they tried to blame that with my eyes. I said nobody has what I had, but it's not true. It's from the inflammation. And once you start correcting that, and you're taught the things that you teach us, you know, reading, you know, what things are made of that you're purchasing, just because it says, what is that one, that the thing that people don't want to eat, that's in breads and stuff, you know, the
Gluten.
different things, gluten, you think, oh, it's good. And then you look at everything else and you go, well, heck no.
Well,
So you taught us, you give us the tools.
yeah, and I, you know, I could talk. I did a whole class in here on gluten. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, unless people will not believe gluten is bad unless they really get educated about it. But
Well, what
that's a
I'm
whole nother
saying
thing.
is it's not
Yeah,
just the gluten. You buy the gluten free, but then
exactly.
when you look at everything else they're adding, you might as well be sucking down the gluten because all the other goodies are bad too.
Right,
So
right.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So even power, you've given us the power to be able to take care of ourselves and to realize what is causing it, you know?
Well, you have, it always starts with you. It doesn't
Yes.
matter. I could help and you know, coach you guys until you're blue in the face, but you have to be the one that makes the decision to say, you know what,
Yes.
I'm ready. And you were at that point where like, I'm ready. I don't want my A1c to get any worse than 6.7. I don't want my blood sugars to get worse. I don't want my eyes to get worse. I want to be able to have energy with my grandkids and be alive for my grandkids.
Yes.
I want to be able to, you know, at 66, be able to run around like I'm 20 years old. And I don't want to be 46 pounds heavier. I want to feel good my last days of my life, right?
Well, you know,
instead of getting worse.
No, and I never did like the fact that I would turn a certain way and I could feel my back touching my back. You know, I feel so much better, you know. I just hate that. So, and my legs.
A new one. I've never heard you say that before.
Yeah. Yeah. My back is not touching my back anymore. No. And I could do the squeeze and I'm not grabbing, you know, like this. I feel better. For me, it's healthier. I'm in a size I haven't been in since high school. And even in high school, I don't even know if I was that size, but I definitely feel better. I feel I look better. Yeah. And I thank you.
I am proud of you, and thank you just for sharing your story with the girls. And I'm proud of you, and I'm so grateful that you've been able to do this work, and you can say that you have officially reversed your diabetes forever. And one last question. Are you afraid that your weight or your diabetes will come back?
No. And if it did, it's because I'm not sticking to something I'm supposed to be doing. So no, in fact, I've been kicking back into the intermittent fast where I'm doing 2 meals a day, you know, and just having that little cubby. And I think the other day I only did 1. And I thought, oh, good. Because, you know, because my weight was dropping really, you know, much. I went, I got to balance it up. And I thought, no, I still want the ability to know I can, because you eat because not because you're hungry, but because it's almost like a habit to want to eat all the time, put something in there. Whereas I'm eating when I'm actually hungry or when my body says I need it. And it's really nice.
And that, my friend, that right there is what has to be taught and has to be practiced.
Exactly. And that's what I like is if you go, God, I'm going to be somewhere for a long time and there's not, I know how to adjust. And I do. I feel good. Yeah. And
I'm
with
so
the
proud of
vitamins
you.
and everything, less sickness and just, and if I do, it's not my cold where I'd have the lingering 3-month long cough and all that. No, I definitely feel 100% better. Like I tell people, when the time comes that I die, just know I went healthy.
Well, you're a celebrity because
Oh,
you've actually been a blessing to a lot of women because
oh, good.
you have shared your story with a lot of these women, and a lot of these women have been inspired by you and have
Oh, thank you.
decided because of you to take the steps to change their health
Oh,
too.
good.
And there's been a
Well,
lot of women that
yeah.
have decided that, and that's what it's all about. It's like if we have to decide ourselves, nobody can make us, but you have
Well,
been inspiring so many.
I was talking to somebody and they were telling me some plan they were going to do. And I said, but you know what? We don't have to buy anything to do what Terry's teaching. Everything you have, you just go to the store and you pick up and you adjust and adapt. There's nothing, no special meals that you'll see on TV or eating nothing but cabbage all day or all these little weird things. This is something that your whole family can go on and everybody will enjoy it and like it, and you're not lacking for anything ever. So that's what I liked.
Awesome.
I
Well,
do
Deb,
like.
thank you
So
again. You're
you're
amazing.
welcome.
And I'm going to promote you back to panelist here, but thanks for sharing your story. And, you're
Okay.
amazing and I'm proud of you.
Well, and I want to, like
Mwah.
I said, thank you, Ingrid, and everybody trying to help me to get on because for some reason it wouldn't work for me. So, but thank
Okay.
you.
Mwah. Love you.
You too.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Awesome. Okay. So again, the reason why I wanted to share Debbie's story with you is because you are being told that you will never be able to reverse your diabetes. It's not true. Okay. When we fix the underlying problem, we can possibly reverse your diabetes 100%. I've seen it happen over and over and over and over again. But you're not going to be able to do it if you don't make the decision to learn how to fix the underlying problem. And that's where I can help you. Okay, you guys. So we're going to wrap up for today. So hopefully you were able to fill out your workbook and fill everything out. And hopefully this was helpful. And I hope you learned a lot. And this will be available for replay. Obviously, you can go back and watch it again if you need to. And tomorrow, we are talking about insulin. All about insulin. So you want to make sure you tune in tomorrow because we're going to dig deep on this topic. And again, if we don't fix the underlying root problem of our blood sugar, we're going to have an issue. So go ahead and do those 4 things I asked you to do, right? Remember the 4? Go ahead and do those 4 things, and you can determine which 4 you want to start, or you could determine if you want to do 1 or 2 or all of them. And then Thursday, we're going to check back. Have an amazing day, you guys, and make sure you tag me in this thread. Tag me if you have any questions that you want me to follow up with you on, okay? Have a good night. Bye.